Hello, this is Steven now. We are back with yet another Batman 66 episode review. Today, we'll be reviewing the episode The Jokes on Catwoman, the second part to this two-parter, and sadly, the last time we'll be seeing Catwoman. So, without any further ado, let's head straight to the review. We begin our episode with the dynamic trio wondering where Catwoman and Joker have gone, essentially leave, with Batman and Robin head to go back to the Batcave to find out, more information on this current villainous caper. Just as they leave, Batgirl goes on a bat cycle, but something's wrong. It's not working. It's then revealed that Catwoman has taken the spark plug from the bike to prevent it from going. Their henchmen then grab Batgirl and tie her up in these cat spines, which essentially will contract by heat, essentially strangling her to death. With that, they then make their leave. We do the opening credits and we leave back to where we started. Batgirl, trying to untie herself, rolls around closer to the sprinklers where the wet causes the things that are contracting against her to expand and essentially freeing her from her predicament. We then see Batman and Robin get to the Batcave and wonder and try to figure out Joker and Catwoman's plot. They then get a call from Commissioner Gordon telling that Batgirl is trying to get in contact with them and has found out Catwoman and Joker's lair and says to meet him at this address. We then cut back to Joker and Catwoman at their lair where they use all the things that have been, all the items that they've stolen to find the exact location of the stolen gunpowder and make their way there. Just as that's happening, Batman, Robin, and Batgirl are out there. Even though that they've done really minor stuff, including killing them, which is apparently somehow on the list of minor criminal stuff they could do, they know they're trying to plan something really big. Catwoman and Joker then leave in the car and drive off, with the henchmen following behind in their car. Batman, Robin, and Batgirl decide to follow them in their Batmobile, and they do so. I love the little scene how Batgirl kind of teases Batman about it. It's fun as hell. We then find that they've gone to, what they essentially has gone to some place near a lighthouse, and they go all over the place trying to find the gunpowder until they go into the lighthouse where they interrogate Mr. and Mrs. Keeper. One thing I want to point out is the bad production quality for that whole thing. It's clear it's done on a set, and you can clear they're really trying to do their best with the budget they got, but it's clear that when seeing this scene, it's not a really good budget. Anyway, Batman and Robin turn up and rescue Mr. and Mrs. Keeper from the Joker, Catwoman, and their two henchmen. Just as that's happening, the Joker accidentally leans on something and reveals a trapdoor with all the gunpowder, but he foolishly uses a match to see it. As Batman tries to make the Joker put out the match, it is then thrown onto the gunpowder, but Batman tells everyone to stay calm and uses a bat spray to prevent them from, being exploded into oblivion. Just as Joker and Catwoman realize their caper has completely fallen apart, Catwoman asks if she could make one phone call. Batman allows it, and essentially Catwoman phones a lawyer, Lucky Pierre, to help get them out of this jam. He agrees to. The next scene is essentially Catwoman, Joker, and the lawyer planning to somehow get off get them off these criminal charges. And they also are shocked to find out that Batman will be the prosecutor in this case. We then see Batman, Robin, Batgirl, Commissioner Gordon, Chief O'Hara, Joker, Catwoman, and their henchmen, and Lucky Louis Pierre in the courtroom, where Batman is essentially trying to convict everyone, the Joker, Catwoman, and their gang of various crimes, and brings on all the witnesses involved. Little Louis Groovy, who was the recording tycoon in the previous episode, Carnaby Katz, the guy that they stole the crib from, Mr. and Mrs. Keeper. Every time the witnesses that come up, bring out these evidence against, criminals. But the lawyer says no cross-examination, and Batman is wondering on the tactics. Eventually, the trial comes to an end when the defense attorney basically says, that there's no way, does his final remarks, same as Batman. The judge then goes to the jury to have them deliberate, but they say they've already made up their minds, and they come to the conclusion that Catwoman and Joker are not guilty on any of the charges. The court and essentially, everyone's in uproar. The judge, Batman, Robin, and Batgirl as to how they could do this. But just as the judge is telling them how they could do this, one of the jurists says, "Quit flapping your yap," and reveals that his mustache he's wearing is a fake. Batman then realizes that guy is Marvin the Mooks, and the guy beside him is Dave the Dummy, two guys that have previously worked with Catwoman. He then goes to the judge and asks for a new trial on the grounds of a prejudicial jury. Catwoman then springs her trap when one of the jurors come out with a machine gun planning to mow down Batman. He then uses rope to essentially, force the gun out of his hand and forces that said juror out of the stand. Two guards come in and hold all the jurors at gunpoint to prevent them from going in the fight. Batman, Robin, and Batgirl then fight Joker, the henchman, and that one juror, and it ends with them getting all knocked out and Catwoman being arrested. That whole trial, for me, it was a pretty fun scene, and it all ends with them losing, and especially Lucky Pierre being upset at everything, throwing everything that he has that is lucky on him down to the ground and walks away. We end the scene with Batman and Robin at Police Commissioner Gordon's office discussing the events of the episode. And it ends with Gordon realizing that Barbara will be calling up soon, where we then cut to the Gotham City Library, where Barbara comes face to face with Louis the Lilac, who is back in town and says he plans to corner the perfume market of Gotham City and just wanted to pay a visit to Barbara Gordon, and then leaves the library. Barbara then calls up her dad, saying that Louis the Lilac is back, and that's where we end our episode. Like I said, everything in this episode with the main cast is really in the background. It's really Batgirl, Batman, and Robin that really shine, and Gordon, O'Hara, and Alfred kind of get little screen time and are just kind of in the background. But Joker is a character that's never in the background. He's always there. Like, my criticism or gripe, I would say, from the previous episode still stands. He's not really the main villain. He's just there, just to be around. It's clear that Catwoman's really running the caper, and he's just joining in for the fun of it. Now, it's kind of sad watching this, because I know that Cesar Romeo time on the Joker is nearly up, as we have one more episode, but that is still a long way away. However, it can't be said for Catwoman. Eartha Kitt really does a unique portrayal, and doesn't try to imitate or copy her predecessors. She really does the role uniquely, and it's clear that she's really the main villain of the piece, when Joker's really in the background, well, really the second villain kind of backing her up. However, and she absolutely takes charge, and she manages to plan out everything. It's kind of sad knowing this is the last time we'll see Catwoman at all in the series. This is really her final appearance. It's really sad, but I like that, that she's at least going out with a okay episode. It could have gone far worse. Louis the Lilac also gets a final cameo at the end of the episode to be next week's villain. What he plans to do is technically corner the perfume market. How? We have to find out the next episode. The jokes on Catwoman for me is, the first part was great, but this one just lacked. The thing that really takes me out the most in this episode is when they go around like the lighthouse. The whole set, you can clearly tell how bad the budget is, and it doesn't work with me. That really drives me out. I love the courtroom scene, and everything up until that was kind of okay. The courtroom scene is probably my favorite bit of the episode, and considering this is Catwoman's last appearance, she could have gone out on far worse, and I admit, this is okay. Not groundbreaking, but okay. There we have it. That was the jokes on Catwoman. Sadly, the last time we'll be seeing Catwoman in the series. Join us next time where Batman, Robin, and Batgirl go up against Louis the Lilac. So tune in next time to the same Steven hour, the same Steven channel. Ladies and gentlemen, so long for now.